coming in. China has asked Pakistan to explore ways of relocating Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed to a Western Asian country. That's the information we are getting from our Pak PMO sources. China has asked so in response to the mounting international pressure to act against Hafiz Saeed for links with terror groups, and which is why Pak PMO sources have said that Chinese President Xi Jinping suggested this to PM Abbasi last month in a sideline meeting at the BOAO forum. Apparently, this was a 35-minute meeting, and in this, at least 10 minutes were given to the discussion on Hafiz Saeed, where Pak PMO is putting out this information saying that, our sources in Pak PMO are saying that China is also in support of relocating Hafiz Saeed to a West Asian country owing to all the international pressure that is mounting against him for his links with terror groups. We'll have our associate editor Aditya Raj call, and in fact he's with us on the phone line at this point. Aditya, how are we supposed to read into this? Also, we'd like to understand from you, do we also have confirmation on this from China? Because is there a possibility that Pakistan would like to put out this information to show that China supports them on Hafiz Saeed?
Well, the real question right now is that just days after the informal summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping, this development has taken place. What we do understand is that there was a meeting between Pakistan Prime Minister Saeed Abbasi and President Xi Jinping, where China suggested Pakistan that to avoid any kind of confrontation with India on the issue of the globally designated terrorist Hafiz Saeed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, Pakistan should have a plan B. The plan B should be, in fact, that Hafiz Saeed should be relocated to a country in the Middle East, and in fact, there should be no further controversy on the same. But at this moment, of course, there are elections around the corner in Pakistan. That's why a final decision has not been taken. Of course, Prime Minister Abbasi has discussed this with his legal team, but what we do understand is that a final...
I'm sorry, I'm having to interrupt you here, but we have Brigadier V. Mahalingam joining us on the phone line. We'll come back to you, Aditya, in just a bit. But Brigadier V. Mahalingam, this is the news we're breaking on Republic right here. Pak PMO sources telling Republic that China is telling Pakistan to explore ways of relocating Hafiz Saeed. How do you read into this?
See, there are two aspects to it. Firstly, as far as I can see, Xi Jinping is personally quite worried about the fact that Hafiz Saeed has been allowed to move freely in Pakistan. He worries that the Uyghur elements of Xinjiang province are likely to be further supported by this man, and this may create a major problem for him. And at the same time, he is also worried that the Milli Muslim League, which the particular gentleman Hafiz Saeed has proposed and which he is mentoring, he may come in forward and may further deteriorate the terrorism situation in Pakistan and its neighborhood. But the second aspect is, why is China now suggesting some method by which this man can be moved and be allowed to live in peace? After all, China must realize that he is a criminal and a terrorist, and he has no right to live in peace. And if this is the philosophy of China, why doesn't it do the same thing with the ETIM militants in Xinjiang province? So therefore, this is a present situation, and as far as I can read, the Chinese are against these militants, and they are only trying to support Pakistan because of the $64 billion CTEC.
And sir, with this move, if this has happened, what do you think are the kind of implications it will have? You think there could also be a change of mind as far as China is concerned, considering relations between India and China are getting better?
No, it is unlikely to reduce the intensity of relationship between Pakistan and China. China will delink its relationship with Pakistan in as far as India-China's relationship is concerned. We must understand China has sunk in $64 billion in China-Pakistan economic corridor, and therefore it requires Pakistan's help. It is also sort of creating a base in Jiwani area near the Gwadar port, and to that extent also China requires Pakistan support. Therefore, in any case, I don't see any dilution of Chinese support to Pakistan in any case.
Right. Brigadier V. Mahalingam, thank you for joining us here on Republic. And we'd also like to welcome Sushant Sareen, who's with us on the phone line, our contributor. Sushant Sareen, this is the news we're breaking on Republic at this point. China asking Pakistan to explore ways to relocate Hafiz Saeed. What are you deriving out of this?
See, I find it a little strange, this report, because under the UN Security Council sanctions which have been imposed on Hafiz Saeed, one is a travel ban. Now, if the Pakistanis were to relocate him, assuming that there is a West Asian country which is willing to invite India's wrath and welcome Hafiz Saeed to set up base in their own country, an international terrorist, the Pakistanis will have to explain how they allowed him to travel from Pakistan to that place. And surely the Chinese, being a member of the UN Security Council, would know about that particular complication. But even if you leave that aside, I think if there is even a modicum of truth in this particular story, then it seems to suggest that the Chinese seem to be getting more and more concerned about the kind of people the Pakistani establishment has been pandering to and has been promoting and has been giving sanctuary to. And if that is actually the case, and we don't know, I'm not going to form an entire analysis on the basis of one report whose veracity is a little doubtful at this point in time. But if there is some truth in that report, then it does suggest that there will be some problems for the Pakistanis and the kind of terrorism they've been promoting all over the world.
Right. Sushant Sareen, let's also get in a view from Colonel V.N. Thapar, who's joining us on this broadcast on the phone line. Colonel V.N. Thapar, is this a matter of growing concern considering China is asking Pakistan to now find ways to relocate Hafiz Saeed? What do you think will be the implications of this kind of a development?
No, you see, anything concerning Hafiz Saeed is a matter of concern. Now, actually, I have not seen any such report in the media about the meeting, the meeting about which you have said. Nonetheless, even if it is true, then I feel that it is China who's putting its interest paramount. You see, now they have invested a huge amount of money, running into about billions of dollars, into the CPC and Gwadar port and all that sort of thing. With this kind of an unstable organization operating in Pakistan, also don't forget that the route is passing right through Gilgit-Baltistan and coming down, which is all disputed area, POK. These are all disputed areas where the rate of Hafiz Saeed runs large. And if that be the major concern, well, that is what is troubling China. Otherwise, they have claimed themselves to be the all-weather friends. So I believe that it is their own primary interest that is pushing them into this kind of a state. And like Mr. Sareen said, a country who will give him the shelter, they will also have to deal with the charges which are pending against him.
Right. Colonel V.N. Thapar and Sushant Sareen, thank you for joining us on the phone line on Republic. And of course, our associate editor, Aditya Rajkol, who broke this news first on Republic. On that note, it's time for us to slip into a short commercial break and a quick check of what's lined up on the other side. Why was Mamata Banerjee upset? Swearing in video that has sparked massive speculation. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has ordered cutting of power supply to the Sterlite plant. We'll get you all the details on these big stories on the other side of this break. Stay with Republic.